So it does seem that there is an update to the Punchout story. Last video, I talked about how Imran Khan made an accusation that apparently the reason why we're not getting a new Punchout game is because of problematic characters and also low sales. And I was skeptical. That was the whole point of my video, was to address the source, which was Imran Khan, who has been known to get misinformation sent out to people and not correct the record. And also just the things that were said, it's possible, but at the same time too, there's like substantiated evidence that kind of says the contrary to why we might not have a Punch-Out game today. And today, that substantiated evidence has been now substantiated by other employees at Next Level Games, whereas the original accusation, not so much. There's a new article written out by Time Extension, which is a website I've never heard of, but they reached out to a bunch of Next Level Game employees and asked for their testimony on why we don't have a new Punch-Out game. I'm going to read out the whole entire article here. I also recommend that you go check out Time Extension. They're going to be linked in the video description down below. If I haven't heard of them, maybe they could use an extra bit of support with some of my viewers coming over and taking a look. Anyways, let's read the article here. It says, so the start of the article mentions the original source, and we talk about that in the original video. I'll have a link to that down below if you want to know more about it. But at a certain point in this article, the author says that they reached out to Next Level Game employees. And here we go. This source says, we ran the story past multiple employees at Next Level Games, all of whom understandably wish to remain anonymous. And according to those we spoke to, no one could remember any specific controversy surrounding the game's characters. One source who worked on the game, for instance, told us, I don't recall any negative feedback from the public around stereotypes after launch, nor have I seen anything since, so I don't believe that this is a valid reason to prevent another version being made. Another source, meanwhile, added, the only major controversy I recall was the Sailor Moon manga issue, which I'm sure you've heard about. But nothing directly related to stereotypes or cultural representations of the characters. In response, one source close to its development responded, you're right, there needs to be a new gameplay hook to make another. The Wii controls combined with how the old game was made it a perfect fit for Wii Punch-Out. So this is exactly what my theory was in the last video, which was that Gita seemed to be a little bit apprehensive until the Wii balance board was introduced. And so all of a sudden that was what essentially got the green light for the new Punch-Out game. It's not explicitly stated that, but there's a lot of heavy reading into the fact that it's like Kitase said, I don't want to disappoint Ginyu Takeda. So once we introduced the Wii balance board, he thought that was great. Ginyu said, yeah, I thought that was great. And then all of a sudden they got a game being made. So I think that's really kind of like, if you read between the lines, the Wii balance board essentially got Punch-Out for the Wii greenlit. Adding to this, it says, the only part of Khan's story that members of development were able to verify was the struggles to get certain characters past Nintendo. We faced quite a few challenges on the Wii version in regards to avoiding perpetuating cultural stereotypes, says one of these sources. Things like Great Tiger's mysticism or Aaron Ryan's brusque? I don't know, I think it's brusque. Anyways, Irish mannerisms just made the cut after a lengthy debate. Previous characters like Kid Quick were cut due to their representation and instead replaced with modern characters like Disco Kid. And then apparently like Bear Hugger was added in because the developers were Canadian, and so therefore they didn't mind adding in a character that was heavily stereotyping Canadian culture, which is funny. So there you go. You know, I made sure to play to both sides. In that last video, I did make a statement saying like, this could be true. There's nothing that's saying that it can't be true. But at the same time too, the source was fairly unreliable. Now he's, another one added to the notch of the belt of misinformation. In case you didn't see that video and you don't want to even watch it, Imran Khan was the original source. And he also said that Sora wasn't going to be in Smash Brothers, confidently so, and never reconciled the record to say that it was just a speculative comment, even though multiple news sources were going off of that as a news story. He never made a statement to say like, oh, I don't have an inside source. I'm just kind of, making my own assumptions here. So there's that. There's this. And like essentially now we have a more clear picture as to what actually is going on as to why we don't have a new Punch-Out game. Nothing was mentioned about sales figures. There was at least a little bit of testimony about how like, okay, we tried to make sure there was non-offensive stereotypes, but we didn't get any backlash for it per se. They seem to think that, generally speaking, it's because there isn't a hook that Next Level Games can introduce to Nintendo to get another Punch-Out game off the ground, which is a real shame, because I had a ton of fun with Punch-Out. I think a lot of us did by just playing with standard controls and not trying to use the waggling or the balancing. We just love that core gameplay, and we deserve more of it. If we can have 5 million Kirby games that barely do anything different from one another, we can have a Punch-Out game that does the same. I don't know. If you have to come up with something wacky, put him in space. Put Little Mac in space. Just do that. That'll be fun. You can't make any stereotypes of aliens. Just go with that. I would buy it. All right. Well, anyways, guys, thanks for watching this follow-up video. And again, if you haven't seen the original video, it's going to be in the video description. And check out this news site. Apparently, I should definitely be checking out theirs more often, since they can reach out to sources and stuff. That's pretty exciting stuff. Anyways, guys, thank you. Take care. And goodbye.